we're actually finally doing this video. So today, Lychee is here with us in the form of Tim Tom.
Hello.
He's channeling
Lychee
his
Punk, yeah.
he's channeling his inner Lychee. But it's so it's me, El Prez. With me is Tim Tom replacing Lychee
I'm a
Punk for
doctor
today.
and I'm doing doctor things.
He also lives on the moon. Paru from I have no idea where.
California.
Oh, okay. So you get to join the party then.
Yeah.
And boats don't sink.
From the other side of the country, apparently.
Yeah, he is awake very late, and we'll get the struggle tonight. Or not. I don't know what his sleep schedule is. But yeah, so we're finally
I don't have one anymore.
we're finally doing Kemono Friends because we're incredibly lazy and busy people sometimes.
Has it been like a month?
Yeah, it's been like a month. I've been following some of the Weiss results. It doesn't look like Kemono Friends is doing as much as we necessarily thought it might.
No. Oh, it's been like a month and a half.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh, it's bad.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I
But
think,
we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, we're just doing the regular set review at this point, starting with yellow, going over the rating system that we always have. We use a basically 4-point rating system from good, cards that you start in your deck, playable, these fill out the rest of your deck, niche, these are generally build them around me cards that require some work to get some good value, which may or may not be worth it. Some niche combos have been things that are worth jamming into your deck, but they do require more effort to put in. And bad. Don't use these. They're actively detrimental. You're, in many cases, better off playing things like vanilla if it actually gets the bad rating, and vanillas get the bad rating, usually by default. On top of that, we also have the separate meta rating. It's just cards that say, this is why you play this set. Kemono Friends does have one particular card that's probably getting the meta rating by default when we get to it. So that is it.
all right.
Yeah.
So starting off with yellow, we have this first card. It's a friend rare, Serval. Curious about everything. It's level 3, 8500 power. Has the following abilities. When this is placed from the hand to the stage, you may put the top card of your clock into the waiting room, so it's a heal. When this is placed from hand to the stage, this gains X power for the turn. X equals the 1,000 times the number of your friends' characters. And that's just the general trait of the set. And as a climax combo with Recollection, this ability activates up to once per turn when the character in your front row center slot attacks. If returning to the original form, which is a stock soul, is in the climax zone, and there are 2 or more other friends' characters in your memory, you may pay cost, which is pay 2. Discard a card from your hand to the waiting room. If so, if you pay that cost, you may stand this card.
It's a pretty cheap restand, and it heals.
It's a
Yeah?
healer.
It's
pretty-
also bondable.
Also big.
Relevant
Like-
upsides. 1300
like-
power is like 13.5, right? Because but that's only true
Really
if it's the
big.
last one you play. The first one's going to be kind of
Big.
less impressive at
Sure, yeah.
5.
And it's a stock soul, right? So it's not getting an
yeah,
extra...
it's not getting the extra
yeah.
bump. So like this is the kind of card that is kind of unfortunate in the finisher role, in that most finishers that are tied to climax combos are generally things that you want to tri-field, and this is like not great in that role.
You can tri-field this.
You can.
You don't need to reverse a card to restand with this.
Well, except for the center one.
Except, yeah, unless it's in the center. But, like, and I think the stock soul makes it so you can triple restand for...
2, 4, 6 to
8
play, and then 8 stock, plus
I think
1,
it's 8
plus
stock.
2,
Isn't it 9?
go to
No.
4.
Wait, isn't it? No, it's
No,
8 stock, right?
you need 10 stock going into the
9.
turn. 9 stock going into the turn.
Yeah.
Or is it 9? Yeah, 9 because stock
9.
soul.
Yeah, because it's on attack. No, on attack is before trigger, right?
It's when
Yeah.
the center
It's
slot
before
attacks,
trigger.
though.
Yeah, it's before
Yeah,
trigger.
but-
So you need one more. You need 10.
No, you only need 9. It's
Stock
because
soul.
you play them down to 3, and then you stock soul up to 4, attack to 5, attack to 6, and then attack with the middle, pay 6, ditch 3 to stand all 3 of them.
How are you attack? You're down to 3, plus 1 to 4, plus 1 to 5. None of the other ones
Plus-
have
Stock
reset.
soul.
Oh,
It's a
stock
stock
soul,
soul.
stock soul.
Yes.
Math is
Yes.
hard.
9 stock.
Yes.
9 stock, triple restand. Also 9 stock, 7 cards
Yeah, you do
out
need
of
7
hand.
cards in hand, which is
That's
way more difficult in all honesty.
means you probably don't have other important cards in your hand.
Well, you better hope that. Well, okay, one, this set does have an important card that you want to keep in your
Yeah.
hand,
Yes.
There's only
unfortunately.
one card you need
What's,
to end your
what's
turn.
nice
And-
about this card is that no matter how you attack no matter how you do this combo, you will always have stock for your quote unquote OP card in hand.
We'll get to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
As far as finishing profiles are concerned, like restanding is generally fine. I guess one added bonus is that the kind of card that we're talking about is not actually very good against this profile.
Yes.
In some ways, it's kind of awkward. But
It's I think this is good actually. I'll give it a good.
I'm giving it a good on the virtue of like it's a healer with upside, and it has
It's also it's a healer that has so much extra stuff attached to it.
it has a lot of extra text. I don't think it's like outrageous though. It's like perfectly fine.
You don't even need to play the restand combo for it to just be like good.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're just playing it
Yeah.
as a 3-2 like 11-5 healer, that's still fine.
Well, 13-5 healer with that's also ditch bondable.
But
Yeah,
the
it
only
is
issue
ditch
that you
bondable.
might run into against certain sets is that it is going to be pretty small on the opponent's turn,
Yeah.
which is relevant at times. So like,
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to run something over, but it's gonna get run over by opponent level 3s basically no matter what.
The deck's geared around winning. Well, we'll get to the card, but this deck gets rewarded for winning lanes on offense, so it's really good that this card gets big.
Yeah,
like super
well,
big for nothing, for no
We'll
cost.
get there, but yeah,
Yeah.
This card is good. It's not like insane. It's not broken. It's just very solid. Like it's a
Yep.
very solid finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Next card, Kaban-chan, full of ideas. Level 3, once again, has 4 abilities, continuous. If there are 2 or fewer climaxes in your waiting room, this gets -1 level while in your hand, so it's an early play. For each of your other characters, that is either friends or mecha, this gains 500 power. And an auto ability, when this is placed from hand to the stage, search your library for up to 1 event, reveal it, then put it face down. Underneath this is a marker and shelf your library. And then a final ability, a startup, you can pay the cost, which is discard a card from your hand to the waiting room to return the marker from under this to your hand.
So why can't you just search the event and put it in your hand again?
I would
This
love
is-
to know the same.
we should-
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably some weird power budgeting thing. I think they wanted to keep it as a 9/5 I think they wanted to keep this at like the 11/5 power.
Because there's like no level
That's-
3s in this deck there's no level 3s in this set that like cantrip on play other than a red card that you'd never play.
I mean, this isn't a cantrip.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like nothing in this set cantrips, which ends up feeling really not great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh please.
Like
Dude, if I could cantrip into a lot of cards in this set, that would be awesome. But I can't.
This guy wants all of his cards to be overpowered. There are quite a few events in this set. Like a bunch. I think there's one in every color, and they're all
color. There's more than one.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of events.
yeah. There's a crap ton of events, and which makes this card I think fairly interesting from a deck building standpoint.
It lets you run it as extra copies of those events, or in a more realistic scenario, it lets you play 2 an event and play this as a character that also counts as an event.
Yeah.
And that's the more practical way of using this card, in all honesty. If there's an event that's good enough that you want to see every game, but not good enough that you want to see multiples, this card makes that less likely that you're going to run into that issue.
Yep. And it lets you it is a toolbox of sorts. A pretty cool toolbox, I think.
That said, if it does get killed before you decide that you want to discard a card,
I mean, if you're afraid it's going to die, you're just going to use the startup right away, right?
I would hope so, but
Yeah.
you don't know.
Um,
Ultimately, the card is still like basically just a solid playable for me.
I think it's playable plus.
Like there are good events in the set, and I'm not gonna like dissuade that, but like my personal stance is like it's not card advantage, it's just reasonably sized as opposed to huge. The early play conditions fine, but like beyond that, it's just like it's a 3-2 beater that hand fixes an event, which isn't as good for me. I'm not.
It's fair enough.
I'm not convinced that it's more than just playable. Because remember, the initial premise is like you're playing an event that you want to see every game, but you're not willing to put the full 4 copies into your deck.
I'm going to go with if this was a cantrip, I would play 4 rating.
Yeah, sounds reasonable to me.
As is, like, even if you wanted to play this kind of effect, I can't see you justifying more than 2.
Yeah, I think 2 copies of it is like a...
Well, if it's your main early play, you probably play 3, but...
It feels
Most of us
weak
feel-
as in main early play, though. Like, I don't know.
I
And it's not like
think
the
it's
kind of card that
actually
you
fairly sizable.
like,
It's Electron Diva that doesn't heal or cantrip.
It's an 11-5, which is like basically
That's
pretty standard rate for early
so
plays
normal.
these days.
Yeah.
Like it's not that sizable. It's what you'd expect.
It's normal size with like barely any of the benefits that other early plays provide.
Yeah. Well, moving on.
Right. Lucky Beast, leave guiding, in quotes, to me.
Is this a camera?
No, he's like their mechanical companion. So, if this is a yellow 1/0 5500 power card with 2 abilities, continuous. If there's a 1 or fewer card in your clock, this cannot attack. And auto, when this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay cost, which is discarding a card from your hand to the waiting room. If so, all players must return all cards in their waiting rooms to their decks and then shuffle their decks.
Well, in tandem with the previous early play, you can minus a ton to find that event.
I think this would be good if it had the friend trait on it.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
this card being off trait really sucks.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it actually sucks. You can only get it off the Kaban Brainstorm. It's like the only card that can search it.
It's like a super timing dependent card. And even then,
It's a card that
it's-
don't want to play more than 1 or maybe 2
Yeah.
of, but you have to be able to see it when you need it.
yeah. You can search for this with one of the brainstorms in this set, but yeah, it's hard to justify playing this card. Even if the effect is potentially super impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Though the merits of that effect being powerful are somewhat dubious to begin with. So,
Like, these free freshes for both players tend to be pretty underwhelming, especially if it costs you functionally 2 cards in this spot.
I think in some decks it's really good. Some decks can really just abuse an effect like this. I don't think this is one of those sets. So
I don't remember reading through the set very much, because I haven't. But
there's just not enough ways to get this card.
one, I feel like, yeah, it's off trade, so there's just not enough ways to get the card. But 2, how is level 1 advantage like in this set?
Pretty good, actually.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
can you afford to
Really
discard
good.
2 cards
Yes.
functionally to try to get this effect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hand
if you,
advantage is not a problem.
if you can
Eh,
afford to
there-
do that, then it's more reasonable to play if you want something tacked. But like otherwise, it feels medium to me. Like,
Yeah.
never mind that there are off chances where like this is one of the level 1 beaters in your hand at like a given point, and you just like for some reason can't attack. That's off, unlikely, but like there is a relevant downside on the card sometimes. In addition to being off trade. Why is this off trade?
Because he's lucky
Favorite
beast.
reasons.
Are you telling me? Are you
You're-
telling
He's
me?
not an animal,
Are you
dude.
telling me
He's a
robots can't be
robot.
friends? Well, the girl
You're
isn't.
going to ask that question
Because
more than
humans
once.
are animals, dude.
But Kaban is a human friend. Oh,
Yeah,
I
dude.
spelled it.
Wow. What the
Now you guys
hell?
watch Kemono Friends.
Whatever. I'm giving it just like playable.
I think it's playable minus.
Playable minus.
It's like
All right,
it's pretty underwhelming.
moving on. Golden Snub-Nosed Monkey, Cerulean Hunter. Level 0, 2000 power, yellow character.
Wait, her name is Cerulean Hunter.
Yeah, they hunt. There's like their enemies are the Ceruleans.
Oh, okay.
They
as opposed to-
have cards in this set.
As
You'll
opposed
see-
to Blue Hunter, it's hunt blue things.
Yes.
Well, like
Yeah.
this, the creatures are called ceruleans.
If there are 2 or fewer cards in your stock, this gains 1500 power, so 3/5, oversized. And then when this is placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library into your waiting room. If there was at least one climax card among them, this gains 2 soul for the turn.
This seems bad.
Meh.
What a waste of a friend rare.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of card you would want to play. It's like,
Eh.
do you
Yeah.
really want to be hit like as a turn 1 play? Do you really want to be hitting them for 4 soul?
I think there's no.
Figures-
I mean, that's not
I
bad
play it-
actually.
I play it as like a 1/of alongside my 4 runners, just because it's oversized. So just as like a 5th slot that does a thing. Like,
Does it really do a thing though?
Yeah, that's my question.
There's something to be said for potentially accelerating level 0 even faster than it already is at the moment. But you just have better cards to play in this slot.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't even in a color that... There's just better options, and this isn't even a color that the set typically lacks. Because there are very strong cards to play in yellow. So you don't typically need it for the color fix, which is the primary reason why you run certain cards of this profile.
Yeah, I mean, if your level 0 isn't generating you direct advantage in some capacity, then it's usually there for color fixing. And if you're not strapped for zeros, this plays a generic beater role, which means that you only really play it if you need the fixing or if you really wanted a 5th, like, kind of beater. The issue
this
is,
card
like,
would be a lot
this-
better in blue.
sure.
Why?
Because blue's actually a color you fix for.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, this would be
I
the other color fix option.
don't know if this is bad, though. It's just
No, I
It's
think the card's
playable,
fine.
but
Yeah.
like,
playable
it's...
minus.
I think playable minus is more appropriate. It's just like the kind of like it's not my first choice of beater, and if you don't need the fixing in yellow, you really don't need this card.
And you wouldn't really play it for the mill ability
No,
unless you really, really need that mill, but you don't
is the
really
runner a
need that
free
mill.
runner or a mill runner?
It's a free runner.
Okay, yeah, you probably don't need the mill anyways, though. Man, they
No,
keep printing free
you don't.
runners. What the hell?
It's in the TD, too.
Yeah, we'll get to that, or not. We don't usually
Or
do
not.
TDs.
Alright. As this next card is the first double R. Okay. Kaban-chan at the congratulation party. Continuous recollection. If this is a memory, no player takes damage from effects of auto abilities of their respective opponent's characters if that damage is 1 or less. That's a mouthful. And a second effect, auto. When this becomes reversed in battle, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock, and placing the top card of your library into your clock. If you do so, you can search your library for up to 1 friend's character, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, and if you are level 2 or lower, send this card to memory.
Why
Makes-
can't this search mecha trait?
Yeah, that should be able to search the lucky beasts.
Because she couldn't find him.
So, as far as I'm concerned,
Oh.
this is basically the big draw to playing this set at all.
Yes.
Yes.
You'd be right.
Like, I don't know. Beyond this, is there anything that particularly stands out? Because nothing really stood out to me when I was...
I mean, there's like a
I
tap
think there's-
counter, but
yeah.
there's a couple of other cards. There's a couple other good build arounds.
The tap-
Bondable tap counter is neat.
None of them. No, okay, so none of the other cards are as much of a meta consideration as this.
Right.
Yeah. You like,
Yeah.
and this card is actually just incredibly pushed.
This card is
Uh,
amazing.
Yeah. It's a Ricky type ability. stacked on top of a extremely relevant meta consideration. There are a lot of decks that rely on ping 1s.
I mean, like,
and you can just field it turn 1, and it makes its own stock.
this is like the exact same things that happened for the, what is the freaking name of that Charlotte one, right?
No, but the Charlotte one
Oh,
is
that's an
so
anti.
much worse.
The
No,
Charlotte
so
one's
much
like a
worse,
drop searcher.
It's a better anti-burn, but it's a worse level 0, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
it is
So
a
that-
worse
yeah.
level 0.
And I think that just makes all the difference. Like, you easily slot this in at 4. It's your meta threat, your meta, like, makes your deck a meta consideration, and it just improves the consistency of your deck by so much.
This card would be good even without the anti-burn effect.
Yeah.
I am. I don't know. I generally don't like these effects without. Like, yes, you can search anything, but it's an on reverse search.
I think, well, right now, this type of effect, I think, has gotten a lot better. You know, it's a viable right now. A lot of players tri-field a level 0. It's a race to see who gets to tri-field first, and this lets you do that even without any stock. So, like, you basically push your stock payment until later, which also gives you more information as to what would be the proper card to search. Not that Ricky is bad, but there's certainly, I don't know if this is necessarily directly less desirable than
One
the
of
CIP.
the important things about Ricky is that if the goal is to try field early, Ricky contributes directly to that, where these kind of effects cannot.
Well, not as a turn 1 play.
Right, but Ricky can directly contribute to your ability to try field level 0s if you want to.
I mean, this is a better turn 1 play than Ricky, I think.
I mean, it is a better turn 1 play than Ricky in the sense that Ricky doesn't do anything on turn 1.
If you didn't already have level 0s to play, and you needed a level 0 to try field, then yes. But people run, like, you run a lot of level 0s in decks. It's pretty unlikely that you won't have at least a few, I think.
It's also not very likely that this gets removed, like, in any way besides getting reversed. So, like, it's 500 power.
It gets killed by Kaiki.
It gets killed by Kaiki. That's at level 1.
It's killed by Levi.
Osamatsu kills it.
Levi and Osamatsu.
Ooh, all these.
And, like,
Are we bringing back the Daisuke Kaiki meme?
I mean,
Well,
this
yeah,
does die
this
to
is 500
Kaiki.
power,
this,
man.
this does actually
Hello?
die to Kaiki.
Monogatari is the strongest deck. Saiko no Deku.
Like, Mayoi choice Monogatari has to just, like, play 4 Kaiki
I
to
think
deal
Japan
with this, right?
chooses 2 Hanakawa.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are you? Would you really not run this card?
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't run this card. I'm just saying I think some of its effects are a little bit overstated depending on where you think the meta is going. Right? If the goal is to try field level 0, this card is fine as opposed to being insane. Right? Because this doesn't contribute as well to the ability to try fielding at level 0.
It's a little different. It lets you commit the attacker without,
Like, yeah, I
so
think this
like
is
you can
better
do
for
things.
tri-fielding.
You can do things like brainstorm or use stock-based effects freely, and then play this, and you're like, okay, I still get my search and my +1. Cool.
Yeah.
Not to mention, this type of effect is also typically more selective than a CIP Ricky effect, I think.
Being able to search anything actually is like pretty good.
Almost anything.
Oh yeah, anything except for the lucky beasts.
I think this is good meta.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm also leaving it at good meta.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better than just good.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's better than Ricky. I'm just saying it is a. This is a push card
It's super
for
push.
sure. All right. Next card. Oh God.
Oh, this
Serval.
card.
Rawr!
Wow.
When this is placed from hand to the stage, this gains plus 1500 power for the turn. When this becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your library. If it's either a friend's character or a paper airplane, which is the tap counter, I believe.
Yes.
You may send this to memory and then put the revealed card back where it was.
What?
Level 0. 2K
How much memory shenanigans are in this?
The Serval standard
There's
requires
yeah,
2
there's-
cards of memory.
And there's a 2/1 that requires 2 cards in memory.
This is also the only card in the set that goes to memory for free.
It's also the only card that
sorry. I mean, the Kaban goes to memory too.
besides the Kaban. Yeah.
I don't know how likely you are to resolve 2 of the Kaban. So
That feels bad then, right? You have to play some of these then?
Why
you
is
have-
this a double rare?
This is a double rare. Yeah.
Why is this a double rare?
Blame Da Capo.
Why is this also straight power creep on Da Capo? This one gets to top check into events too.
Again. Blame. That's why, right? It gets a top check in
Yeah,
event. It gets a
that's
top
why-
check
that's
money
why
counter.
it's
to
a
go.
Paru has shifts, dude. Come on.
It gets a top check money counter into going off. Live the dream, yo.
This is like
I hate having to play this card, but
maybe play minus. I think it's playable minus actually. But you're so dependent on this card though. If you're running the
have to,
restand,
right? You
have to
have
run
this
to.
is why-
you have to run this card. You have to run this card if you run the restander.
yeah.
So
That's unfortunate. That's incredibly unfortunate.
wasted level 0
I
slots.
played it 2 copies. I played it.
Yeah, I
two.
played 2.
But you have to play it. That's
But
the
you
problem.
have to play it, and it's terrible.
That's the problem. You have to play it. That's unfortunate.
This card is like bad plus.
I've already moved on. It's not bad. It's still better than a vanilla.
It's like playable minus. Hello, come on. Next card. Oh, okay, it's this card. Okay. Fennec at her own pace. Level 0 with 500 power. Continuous during your turn. All your other common raccoon, always full power. Gain 2000 power. That's a green card. And it also bonds. It's a stock bond to this card, to
What's
the
the
aforementioned
raccoon
card.
do? Is it a vanilla?
It's a stock charge combo. On reverse stock charge combo. That's green.
Hmm.
I
That feels
hard to
underwhelming.
yeah,
I think this was like one of
this is
the
a
most
bond.
hype
Based-
parts of the set by like
Yeah, people like
Every-
their stock charge combos.
yeah, I
but
don't know why.
I think this is just playable. Maybe playable. Nah, it's just playable. It's like a solid plus to a potential build around, maybe.
Wouldn't that make it niche?
Oh, maybe
Yes.
this is neat. Yeah, this is
This
neat.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, I can go
It's
with
a
that.
stock charge combo. You're probably, if you're playing the combo, playing 4 of each copies at 12
Yeah.
cards in your deck. That's enough to qualify for niche.
Sure.
It powers up your reverse combo that doesn't plus you, and then doesn't keep it alive on defense.
Oh, it's only on your turn.
Yeah.
That's incredible. This entire card is
Thanks.
unfortunate.
Thanks, I guess.
I'm done. I'm over it.
I'll
All
just
right.
take
All
my-
right. Niche. Let's go. Next card. Serval. Oh my god, these names. Serval. Ditzy Girl lives. Level 0, 1000 power. When this attacks, choose one of your other friend's characters, and that character gains 1k power for the turn. When this comes reversed, if the level blah blah, blah it's
Stock
stock
bomb.
bomb. Stock bomb.
There's a runner in the set, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Play that. Don't play
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, this is a
Yep.
bomb. It also has power, utility.
Play
and
the
this-
runner. Don't play this.
Hey, yeah, you're right. But
This is playable, but
This
play
is
the
playable.
runner. Don't play this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to say about that card, and we're moving on.
Okay.
Like,
Serval, saying hi to friends. Level 1, 3,500 power. When the battle opponent of your other characters becomes reversed, choose one of your friend's characters, and that character gains 1,500 power for the turn. And another ability, when your other character with either Serval or Kaban in name is placed from the stage to the waiting room, if this is in the back row, you may pay cost, which is sending sacking this. If so, you may put that character rest in the slot it was in.
It's a field encore plus old man.
I actually played this.
It's not old man.
it's not old
It's
man.
it's the
It's the-
aggressive version of old man. I think we saw this.
Yeah,
in
it's
rewrite.
the aggressive version. You're right.
Yeah. Oh,
This
I
card
mean,
is actually cool.
it works on
does
defense
cool
too,
things.
which is funny,
Yeah.
but not in a way that is entirely. Yeah, if you.
I mean,
if
like, the effects are meant to be used kind of opposite each other, right? Like, on offense, you benefit from the first half. On defense, when everything you control is dying, you can use the back half.
This makes your Shimakaze combo snowball to like really good power levels.
So,
you
like,
can't.
Your reset is actually killing things too.
how big is Shimakaze the first
It's just
one?
a 5K card. It's just a 5K card.
It's printed Shimakaze but with a 1K one.
So 6k power?
Yes.
Yes.
That's...
So
not-
if you get one kill on something,
that's-
the other ones get reasonable.
Yes. You get to 7.5?
Yeah, for like 8 with a global.
It feels sketch.
The next card is the global.
Well, I mean, we'll get to the next card, but like that still feels kind of sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this card is cool. I don't think it's that great.
I don't think you want this very
I
often.
thought it was better than it was when I saw the card for the first time, but it's just somewhat problematic. The other thing is there aren't that many really good cards to save with the second ability. There's the early play, the 3/2 early play, but apart from that, there's just
You can save the restander to try and go again with it.
no, you can't.
Can't you?
It puts it in the back row.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
What do you mean
No,
by?
you can-
Oh, sure.
Do you
I
mean
guess,
go off
sure.
on the
I
following
mean,
turn?
Sure,
You can
sure.
save
On
the
the following turn, sure. But like, I think you'd rather ditch bomb to a killed healer.
Yeah.
than ditch bomb to that card. I just don't know. I don't think there's.
Right, but
that's
it's not gonna have stock because you're gonna have like ended with 3 stock and used your tap counter. So you're not gonna be able to play one after ditch bonding to it.
I mean, depending on what ended up happening with your restanders, you might not even have the slot if you sack this, right?
What?
Like, if you've
What?
lost in 2 lanes, you're still not going to be able to get to use the tap counter at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
that's possible.
Well, if you're
yeah.
playing this, this makes sure that your restanders are running over things.
That's
Yeah.
true. Hmm.
This does help you win on offense, so that your tap counters do things.
I play this with the restander deck, and I think it's like fine with that.
They're just better cards to play in the slot, though.
Yeah, I do think there's just not enough room for it.
I feel
Like, there is a 2K assist. Like there are cards that do what this card does, but better.
there's a 2/1 2K assist.
That gives
Yeah.
hand on Fortis. Yes,
That seems way better than this.
Yes.
I'd have to agree. I think this is.
Yeah.
I don't think this is bad by any means. It's a nice card, but
You're
I
getting, at least versus the other one, you're getting less power, it's less reliable, and honestly, the second effect is only good if you have, if you're trying to wall at level 1, in all honesty.
yeah.
See, at one point, I
Saving
was,
a Shimakaze is like kind of just whatever.
yeah. At one point, I was trying to make the first effect work for walling at level 1, because there's a 2K backup in the set. So, like, if you 2K backup and kill something, and then you just pump 15 into something
you know
else.
what deck you want to be playing, sir?
Just like, hit
wouldn't-
Kantai.
No, you want to be playing Blue Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Because
You can't talk-
R2D2
that's not our-
R2D2
you can't
lets
talk
you live
about-
that dream.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to call the WGP police.
Oh yes, not legal in WGP. Can't play
Hello. I'm gonna report you to Luke. He's gonna come to your house and
it. Take my Star Wars cards.
he's gonna take it away.
This card is like playable minus.
I think it's playable.
Yeah. Next card. Kaban-chan during Desert Tour. 1/0 3500 power. Continuous. It's a global for friends or mecha trait characters. And it is a tap self brainstorm that searches for friends or mecha characters. So
Yeah,
this
you're
is the
playing
only
this.
card in the entire set that can search for mecha characters.
Flashback to Love Live Set 1.
Oh yeah, ban-worthy.
I can't see a
Utterly
reason why you
broken.
wouldn't play this, right?
I think it's some decks don't run this card because there are other brainstorms that tie better into deck function. But yeah, this is a strong candidate, I think, for inclusion in most of the Kemono Friends decks. Because you don't the other brainstorm is a tap 2, even if but it's a level 0, so it's like slightly different considerations for running either. I think this is generally better. So
Yes.
Tap self is nice. It means that if you have 2 of them, you can get more advantage, or if you want to use your other back row for
Yeah.
something, it's also just better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, doesn't force you to commit that second back row slot.
Yeah, the deck does not have a lot of like good early back row.
yeah, I noticed the first back row we saw at rarity is a level 1.
Yeah.
It's like not exactly where you want to be. a lot of
Yeah.
times.
What
are we
rating these again? I forget.
Usually brainstorms get the good rating just because you kind of
Alright.
need
I
them.
think this is like worthy of a good rating.
Like
Let's
it's
call it.
it's
I say it's good.
it's good enough to get the good rating. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
So
All right. Kaban-chan guide map found! Exclamation point. 2 abilities. When this is placed from your hand to stage, you may pay cost. If so, you may choose 1 paper airplane, which is the tap counter, in your waiting room and return it to your hand. And the cost is pay 1 stock to retrieve that card. And it is also a ditch bond for the aforementioned restander healer.
functionally, it'll act as a cost bond to the ditch bond or to the healer if you also want it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is relevant. The amount of times playing this profile in Star Wars where I get my lightsaber and then discard it immediately to get back my loot. It's pretty great, dude. Let me tell you. And the best part about all of it is I have like 3 more lightsabers in my hand. Nothing's fucking dying. And then I've refreshed level 1. Game is great. Let me tell you.
I mean, this card spawns to
this card-
two really solid cards.
This card is a super good late game card, I think.
Oh yeah.
This card is good. Like,
It bonds your finisher and it bonds your defensive card. So like it does everything you want it to.
it bonds everything. Just actually everything.
This is like one of the reasons why you wouldn't necessarily need to run the early play if you didn't want to.
Correct.
If you were planning on playing the early play for the search event.
Yeah.
That early play is also one of the. I think the other plays kind of suck. So there's that.
But I don't know how many of the tap counter you want to be playing.
That's a good question. It's kind of.
'Cause, like at least in Animal, I only
You're-
really played 3, but that's also because the combo that you're playing is a little bit awkward with more copies of the event.
Yes. You can. This card incentivizes you to save deck slots.
Well, yeah, this is another way to save.
You basically
deck
run
slots.
this instead of like the 3rd or 4th tap counter, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Essentially how it works out. It also acts as the 3rd or 4th copies of this healer. So-
Yeah. This deck has enough ways to get the tap counter that you don't need to play like a ton of it.
You only need to play 2.
Yeah.
If you play this and the early play, you like only need 2.
Yeah, good card.
I know this profile.
Serval helping. Yeah, this profile where it's an assist that all your level 0 lore characters in front of this gain 1000 power. You love this profile.
I play it where it's strictly worse because it's in Toman deck and it's a 1-0 support. Is it a 1-0? This might be a 1-1. It also has like frontal 5. It's pretty garbage, let me tell you.
Okay, but like that's like okay, but like
Why does this-
Toma cards are so huge.
Why does this effect even exist?
Well, it existed in Toma deck because all the Tomas are level 0.
Yes, I get that, but like,
But in any other set, it's
man,
garbage.
let me boost my
Oh,
level
this makes
0.
your runner 3k power.
Oh
Oh
man.
my god.
Runner becomes an oversize.
Runner
Who
becomes a vanilla.
cares?
Okay, yeah, and this card is also a quote unquote Amagi effect. Oh, when you play a climax, you can pay the cost, which is 1 stock, and if so, look it up to the top 4 cards of your library, and search for one friend's character, reveal it, and add it to your hand.
That effect is actually good. The first effect is entirely irrelevant.
There's a level 0 beater at level 1.
Who
Like this
there is
level
a
1 that's
level
level 0.
cares?
Hey, they tried really hard to make that profile good. This
To be fair, every time they print this, all your level 0 lore characters in front of this have this. Usually there is some level 1+ card that is a level 0 on field. But you
Yeah.
know what historically has been
also
the
just
problem of level
terrible.
0 on field? Is that you can
can
get
side
side
them.
attacked.
Yep.
Unless your card is like specifically Toman levels of advantage for being level 0, and specifically I'm referring to the 2/1 2-soul Toma and the 3/2 hexproof Toma. Well, they're actually both hexproof, but the one that has shot trigger and pump soul and is 3-soul base. That card is dank.
It's like really big.
It also reads turns off your healing magic.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You
But-
cannot play healing magic
Not on
if
this
this
Toma.
card is on the field.
That said, Dragon Strike does make things kind of awkward sometimes.
I think this is
Let's-
playable plus.
Let's never forget that there are plus level counters that exist in several sets as well. Which would incidentally be a Nambo with this kind of card anyways. Yo. Yeah, it's playable plus on the second effect alone. The first effect is like largely irrelevant, but it could matter at level 0. Like,
It makes your oversizes even bigger.
3K runner.
whatever.
You have 2 3k runners.
Whatever.
Easy.
Alright, Hippopotamus, a large scale battle. That's a cerulean, in case you didn't know that, Will.
I didn't.
I
I have no idea what this
that's a
anime is
cerulean.
about. My general trend for anime is like if my friend likes it, like this particular friend, it's probably garbage.
Okay. When your climax is placed in the climax zone, put the top card of your library into the waiting room. If it's a friend's character, this gains X plus X power for the turn, and X is equal to 1,000 times the number of your friend's characters. This is so trash.
Isn't this
Dude, oh, this is
Eris?
garbage.
Like they
This is-
pushed Eris from Konosuba?
This is actually a 0075. It's like an 8. It's
well,
like an
that's-
8-5.
But wait,
wait, wait.
have I told you about our Lord and
Wait,
Savior
no,
Zero?
you put this in front of the
9-5.
last. It's
Oh my
9-5.
God.
10-5 you have 2.
Yeah, that's broken.
Have you ever heard of the glorious 00 Natsu?
Dude, you can turn your Amagi
Yeah,
into a
plus
5-card
7-5.
mill with this card.
That's a 10k level 0, yo. When
Dude, there's a
specific
Maki-
level 3s.
There's a Makigumo.
Actually, the
in
tone-
Kantai set 1
There's
that's
a-
like pay 3 and it gains 7,500 power.
There's a Toma that gains power equal to the amount of levels opposite of it, but only if that character is magic or ESP.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Alright.
Random level 0s that get way too
I think
big.
this
This card is garbage, though. Don't play this card. It doesn't do anything.
It kills things.
No, it doesn't even really do that.
It probably does actually.
It probably does. It's like if you
What are
play
you
a
killing
climax,
that
it's like
matters?
8-5. You're killing anything like up to level before level 3. Like you're not
Well,
killing early play, but like
Here's the problem. No one really plays level 2s anymore.
sure,
What?
then kill
Already
level
does.
1.
What? No, people do play level 2s. Okay, even if people play... Okay, even if this killed level 2s, this would
You
still
still
be
wouldn't
bad.
play it.
Okay?
I mean, Guardian and LB exist.
Yeah, but Guardian is way bigger than this card can get.
Ugh.
And LB... I think this is bigger than LB. This isn't bigger than LB. Unless you, like...
LB is pretty big at level 2.
Go super ham.
LB is like pretty big.
Like double 1k in front ham. Alright. Sandcat. Really interested? Question mark.
No.
When the battle opponent of this comes first, you may send this to memory. If so, at the start of your next draw phase, choose a Sandcat really interested question mark in your memory and put it on any slot in the stage.
So it's a time
Question
machine
mark?
at level 0. It's like
What?
It's mandatory to bring it back, so you can't use this for the restander.
no. Also of note.
Wait, no, yeah, you can.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
you have to
can't.
kill something with this
You
first.
kill something with this first.
Yeah,
The
you
turn
can use it. You
rest-
can use it on the same turn.
Wait,
yeah.
but you have to reverse something with this.
And
Yeah, you played 2 of that Power to Level 0s card.
Then you're only
If
4/5. It's a stock
No, no.
soul.
no, you can't do that though because this would have to be in the middle.
Oh, you're right.
Meaning
No, no, no,
you would
that's-
trigger restand
that's-
before you reversed anything.
Oh yeah, it's before it reversed. No, there's no way. It's not possible, sir.
Well, you just need to restand once or something.
Anyways,
Come on.
this is a time machine effect at level 0, and the set has a free runner. You don't play this.
Well, yeah.
No.
It'd be nice if it at least did something on play like the Mikaru does.
But like, yeah, what it's doing is functionally time machining or functionally running. It is time machining, but you have a runner. You don't need to functionally run. You can actually run.
Yes.
Like the only times I'm playing functional runners, like things that return things to my back row, is because those at least let me use my level 0s that are back rows to attack with them. So it gives me extra attackers. This doesn't do that. So don't play it.
8.
Oh, yes.
Serval, rescue operation.
That's a lot of text.
That's a lot of text.
This card's
You
great.
can rest this card to give one of your friend's characters +1 soul for the turn, and has a lot of text for this one ability. So at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay costs, which is paying 3 stock and discarding a tap counter and a Hearthfire from your hand, which is the bounce
Classic
event,
trap.
bounce classic trap. Yeah. If you pay that cost, you may choose up to one of your opponent's characters and rest it, and then choose up to one character in your waiting room with Kaban in name and return it to your hand.
So, yeah, you're using it to use your tap counter as an auto ability, except you're ditching 2.
It's like a tap counter that can't be played around, essentially, because you can like since this procs at the beginning of attacks.
Even if you have no board. You can...
Typically you play around tap counters. Like you win board on defense, and then you attack in direct lanes, and it's harder to tap counter, or like you side or something, or you have like anti-event text or something. This bypasses all of that, but
You need to play this other event.
Yep.
that's yes, and you need to like have this card like on the field and in your deck.
None of that seems worth.
Self tap for soul isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I think this is neat. It's like sometimes you can do this nutso play where you do double tap, where you have another tap counter in your hand and you use this and the tap counter. That doesn't actually happen that often.
I don't think that ever happens.
Oh, well, says you. I've done
I
it.
don't know. I mean, you can
Pretty
like
good.
you can Kaban early play into one tap counter and then like bond the other one.
What helps this card's case is that there are bonds to both of the events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even still, it's not
It's
so
playable.
good that I think it's playable. It's not so good that you'd like want to play this.
It
This card
helps
is
a
super
lot
flavor,
in
though.
certain matchups.
Yeah.
This is like the most flavorful card in the whole set.
I don't think we necessarily give ratings based on flavor, unfortunately.
Wow.
No, I think it's playable even even without the flavor. So
Yeah, I think it's playable.
Yeah, it's playable.
Right. Oh, wait. No, this is different. All right. So Serval, eager to do this. 1/0 for 4,500 power. When this is placed from hand to stage, this gains X power for the turn. X is 500 times the number of your friend's characters. And at the start of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your library. If it's level 2 or higher, you may return this to your hand. And then blah blah blah. Climax cards are level 0.
That's garbage.
It's like so much worse than Mario.
Yo, coin flip.
It's
Baby.
coin flip. That
It's
can't-
worse than a coin flip.
Yeah, because it can't eat a frontal attack. Like,
So remember
It
how we
just
were talking about time
opens your
machine effects?
slots.
Remember
this
Index?
is basically Time Machine.
Remember Index? Index has time machine.
Wait, there's another card in the deck that literally just, or in the set that's literally just like a better version of this.
Like, what do you mean by better? Like, in every way or what?
It's
Yeah,
it's a true
pretty
coin flip card.
That's really funny.
I mean, this is only relevant because of its color. That's it. Because red is kind of poo-poo pancakes. So, spoiler alert.
No, there's a blue card, right? That's
No.
like a better version.
No,
It's red.
it's red. I think it's either. I think they're both red. The levels
They
are
are.
on the level. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
So, I'm gonna give this niche. This goes in like a coin flip build around deck.
Yeah.
What say
You.
you, El Prez?
This card is garbage. I'm not even giving it niche. Like, straight up, like, if you're playing this card in your deck, you're doing something wrong.
No. I mean, in the coin flip deck, it turns out that you just don't have enough. You might just
If you're
not have
playing
enough
the
space.
coin flip deck, you're doing it wrong.
If you're playing the coin flip deck, you honestly don't even have enough room to play all of the coin flip cards. So just play the better ones.
Let's be real. If you're playing the coin flip deck, my favorite coin flip deck is honestly the Konosuba one, where at least if you flip coins and you live the dream, you get to like draw 4 cards.
Mm-hmm. So you only get to draw 3 cards off the Konosuba one, right?
Whatever. It's still a lot of cards you're drawing for flipping coins, dude.
All right.
Oh,
Uh,
that's sad.
Kaban-chan to Japari Library. 106k. If the level of character opposite this is higher than the level of this can't front attack, and is a climax combo with, when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if to the yet to be seen future is in your climax zone, which is a,
I think it's another star.
it's a star, no, it's a 2.
Isn't this
it's
a split
No, it's a split 2k1, split
Okay.
2k1.
Okay.
Is in your climax zone. You can look it up to the top 2 cards of your library and search for up to 2 level 1 or higher cards. Then reveal them, put them in your hand, and then put the rest into a waiter.
I hate that restriction.
This card is not that good. They're better combos.
It's not a guaranteed plus, which is kind of
Hey,
awkward.
Might as well be in coin flip, right?
I mean, this
Oh,
is
maybe.
this is actually a coin flip.
But this
though.
this is bad for coin because it's a level 1 that you have to run 4 of. And you know what else
Shut
is
up.
level 1? Your coin flip card.
Shut up. You have a level 0 one too. This card can grab
This
events.
is not good,
Right?
man.
Grab events.
Yeah, this can grab events, but like, ugh.
That still seems
Yeah.
like not
Like,
the most
terrible.
value.
No, it's not.
It's like, it's just like, eh. Eh.
Yeah,
It's bad.
yeah, it's bad.
Alright. Brown Bear, Cerulean Hunter. There's no Ceruleans in this card art. 2/1 4K. Continuous for each marker under this gains 3k power. When this is placed from hand to stage, from your waiting room, choose up to 1 African Wild Dog Cerulean Hunter and up to 1 Golden Snub-Nosed Monkey Cerulean Hunter, and put them face down underneath this as markers in any order. That part's really important. And a climax combo. When Hunter Strike is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row, search your library for up to one friend's character, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Hunter Strike is a wind.
Meh.
Nah.
Meh.
Eh.
Like,
It's like the DK crew.
How
It's
like
kind of big.
how like consistently would you ever be able to get 2 of these out with both markers?
Now that's good compression, but
I mean, if you play 4 copies of all of them,
yo,
might be happening.
Oh.
But
I mean, you're definitely playing 4 copies.
it depends on whether you,
But level 0 is so good.
it depends on whether you've refreshed yet or not. So if you're playing poorly, this card is better.
if you're
question
playing
mark,
poorly, this is a 2/110K.
that gets to search your deck of probably 5 cards.
All that compression.
And if you're playing well, this is a 2/4K.
Like,
That gets to search your deck of like 30
20
cards.
cards.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's a 7K if you paid one out.
Maybe it's 7K.
These are not upsides. The floor is bad, and the ceiling is also bad.
Yeah, do we have bad minus?
Yes, this is a thing that we can do.
I think this is actually worse than a vanilla.
I actually agree. Not only is this card in general worse than a vanilla, but it also forces you to play other bad cards to be worse than a vanilla.
Like,
How depressing.
killing all the people
This-
who love Brown Bear.
I
I'm
actually
telling-
like the bear too. This is kind of sad.
This takes up 16 slots in your deck that you could just be playing a vanilla.
This is
That
garbage.
just ties to Lucia anyways.
Whatever. We're moving on.
Alright. Lucky Beast emergency situation. He has a hat now. And he's eyes are red. Spooky. 2/7K. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is higher than the level of your opponent, you may put that character in stock. If so, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock in the waiting room. It's an exchange stock bomb.
Hey, this card would be good.
That is off trait.
Yeah. This card would be really good in the deck because the early play that we saw was not great.
Hey, remember that other card that was kind of good, but also off trait?
Yeah, same problems.
That's another one of them too.
This is like playable still, but like it's awkward as hell.
They did this
Yeah.
on purpose.
You basically have to. What running this card means. Oh, we're already on the next card. What running that card means is that you're using brainstorm hits on getting this card, which is
They definitely did this.
not
Draw into it like a good player.
Yeah.
all right. Serval, I'm gonna eat you!
Please tell me that's a
Exclamation
2-soul.
It is.
It is a
We'll get to
Thank
that.
God.
0/5 power. Dies to Kaiki. Your other character in the front row center slot gains +1 soul and has a climax combo when your opponent levels up. If Day of Departure, which is a +2 soul, is in your climax zone, look it up to 4 cards from the top of your library and search for up to one friend's character, reveal it, put it in your hand, and dump the rest.
It's still not worth it.
Play this in a set with Moguro.
Your center slot is attacking for 4 soul.
I'm not saying it's not going to be fun, but I'm
I'm
definitely
pretty sure
saying
you
it's
want
not
to
going to be
beat-
good.
If you're playing
You're
this
gonna
low, you
all
want-
your opponents with this card. Rock.
Are.
If you have 2
Excellent.
of these, your center slot's 5 soul.
Yo, now that's
If you,
good.
if you have 4 of these, because you can
Oh god.
Oh.
You have 4 of these. And
You have
your
4.
center slot.
your center slot is
Just plus
7
4.
soul.
Dude, you can totally do levels or it's so good. You get to +4.
But what happens if everything sticks? And if you go +8?
8. Oh. You get to
You get to refresh. Yeah, you just live the freaking level 0 dream and you just refresh your opponent level 0. They just took straight up 14 off the top. Man, what a time to be alive. This card is dank meme worthy.
Honestly, like if you really want that center soul, it's like niche -2.
Yeah. No, this card is not
I
good.
believe our friend Christian Jarbacher has a build that uses this card.
Does
Oh,
it-
dear Jesus. Was it given to him by Yue?
No.
If you want the center soul, isn't the 1/0 that can rest itself to give soul just better?
Yes.
Yes. But
Oh.
that was a dank meme.
But you can't.
But you
That's
don't
not a climax combo.
You-
Excuse me.
you don't
Whoa.
get you don't get the dank meme.
You
That
don't
said,
get
you
plus-
do kind of get advantage for kind of just being able to slam 2 souls at every level if this is your back row.
I mean, I think 2 souls is a nice climax for this effect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
in the
actually
same
super
vein
dank.
as the Puyo Puyo. Well, not in the same vein, because you don't run the +2 soul in that deck. But it's not. This isn't bad.
No, this is actually like
It's fine.
you can do things with it, but it's probably not worth it.
There's a deck you can build that incentivizes running as many level 0s as possible.
So, how old are these characters supposed to be that she's driving a car?
They're all
She's not
legal.
wrapping it very well.
Because like this image just makes me think of that stupid Komoe card where she's behind the seat of the car and like she
Get on
can't
the
reach the
magic
pedals.
school bus. Serval driving. That's a car. A bus, sorry. If this is in the front row center slot, this gains +1 soul. And
We've now
what's this
reached
place?
8 souls.
From the hand to stage, reveal the top card of your library. If it's either a friend's character or an event, you may put it in your hand and discard a card from your hand to the waiting room.
If it's a direct attack, it's 9 soul.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, this is. Can we get it to 14
Another
soul
+2
somehow?
soul.
If we trigger a +2 soul, we're at 11.
Crit trigger gets you to 11.
We can't get there.
No, you just have to play the 1-0 3 times, rest all of them, and then play.
Oh shit, you're right. No, because you're plussing 8, right?
You plus
so-
8, so who
Why are you
cares?
stopping at 3 times?
4. Oh yeah. You just play. You play
Wait.
4 of the. Wait, are we there? We're at 14 soul. Okay.
Wait.
That,
If
that's
you
10
play-
cards in hand, dude.
I mean, you know,
+8.
+8. All right. This is solid. This is like.
The second effect is actually really fine, and
Yeah.
honestly, like, you don't... The first effect is kind of irrelevant. You can get the extra soul if you want it, and you can not use it if you don't want it. It's actually, like, perfectly playable.
If
Yeah.
you go first and just
I think
play this,
I
and-
like that it's a utility card that is a
Hell
2 soul
yeah.
beater. I think that's pretty valuable.
Yeah.
As far as utility cards go, like, this is pretty good, honestly. It's
Great.
it's a free discard outlet. It flips on event, too, which is
Which is really
really good.
nice for this kind of effect. Yeah, you don't miss as many times.
And
as
again,
normal.
you the soul isn't like able to dick you in any way because you have full control over that.
Yeah.
Except against Star Wars, I guess.
Okay.
But like you're not
Alright.
attacking when they do that, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Star
Yeah,
Wars
it's fine.
anti-runner?
Yes,
So-
Star
I
Wars
think
has
playable
anti-burn
plus,
in red
but-
and in blue.
Yeah, this is playable. Tsuchinoko, knowing the smell of the outside air.
I could have sworn this animal is mythical.
Don't pay attention too much. 001k power. It has mystery trait, dude. There you go. Mystery.
I
Okay.
mean, you could eat a Tsuchinoko
Goofy.
in like Snake Eater.
When this is placed from hand to stage, you can look it up the top 2 cards from the top of your opponent's library and put them back in the same order. And then when you play a climax, you can return this card back to your hand to look it up to the top cards of your library, choose one of them, and put it in your hand, and put the rest in waiting room, then ditch a card.
So in combination with the other effects, you can guarantee at least 2 of your 9 damage.
Yes. It bounced. Oh well, I mean, but it
I mean,
bounced.
you can't do anything
Wait,
about it, but you can
lose
look
a
at it.
soul though, because this has to be in the field.
Okay, sorry, 2 of your 8 damage. But then you plus 1 still, so you're not like losing the plus, so it's still plus 8.
I really wish the effects were like reversed.
Look at your own on play and look at your
No, I mean like
on balance.
on play, look at your top 2 cards, add one,
Yeah.
and then
I
on
would.
card placement, look at
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know.
Then
But
it
this
would
card
be
seems
like
whatever.
paper
I would not
cards.
play this card.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never even realized that this was on play. Look at opponent's deck until someone played it against me and I read it. And
But
I
you
was
see,
like,
like the
Whoa.
the problem with the game of Weiss is that you
Whoa.
can look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and all it does is tell you nothing.
it
Nothing
tells
of
you whether
relevance.
it tells
Hey,
you whether you need to play
it's-
the Lucky Beast 1-0 or not.
But like, I don't know. The issue is like, okay, you have the information now, but does that really change anything?
Yeah, you play the Lucky Beast
It-
1-0 and refresh.
It
them.
potentially can. It's not, but not enough to the point where you just play this card.
Exactly.
So yeah.
The effective information in Weiss, because of how quickly you're cycling through your deck and because everything is random, is super underwhelming. I'm
Alright.
still giving the card niche, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Lucky Beast. Freeze. 004K. When this
This
is
card
card
is
placed from hand
garbage.
stage, may put the top 2 cards of the library in the waiting room. If there's at least 1 climax card, rest this.
Yeah.
Off trait,
This-
not a runner.
Remember when this was a double rare?
Great.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure Tim Tom remembers this every time.
Stop.
Hey, the double rare one is on trait though.
It's true.
Hey man,
You're right. So it's not actually like.
remember when they printed this card? Except it also has a scry effect.
Oh yeah, I have it right next to me.
Okay, dude. Alright, yeah, this is, I think, just bad. Yeah, we're moving on already.
Hey.
Okay. Serval, Sudden Tears. Oh, hey. 1-0, 5500 power. This gets -1 level while on the stage, and for each of your other level 0 or lower characters, this gains 500
So
power.
best case scenario,
You have double Amagi
it's
back row
7-5,
and 2 level
9-5 level zeros on the 9-5 level 0 in the center, 8-5s on the wings, and you get level 0 bombed in all 3 lanes.
Nice.
Easy.
Easy game.
Super easy.
Bad.
That
It's just like
sounds-
the problem with running like level 0, level 1 beaters, right, is that they have a dual function. The first function is that they kill the opponent. The second function is that they soak damage or they generate
Yeah.
card advantage, right? This cannot soak damage, which means it cannot generate card advantage if your opponent wants to swing for full damage, which makes these kind of effects kind of bad.
Oh, you still
Yeah.
get the +1.
You get
still
the plus one on
but
attack,
you don't soak the damage.
but you don't soak the damage, so you're not really getting continuous pluses in that sense. Also, you're playing a bunch of the level 0 support, like the full 4, probably, if you're doing this. At which point you just gotta ask yourself what you're doing with your life.
Playing Serval Waifu, obviously.
That sounds like a mistake.
That sounds niche.
That sounds bad.
Serval waifu.
That
means
sounds
you're
possible,
playing-
actually.
It means you're playing the restander, and your only source of memory is the top checker
no.
hero.
Oh my god, this is the other card for the bear marker. This is garbage.
Oh, dude.
Alright.
117k encore.
African Wild Dog, Cerulean Hunter. So this is one of the marker cards. 1165. If you have 2 or more friends of characters, this gains 500 power in hand encore.
Remember when they printed this card in Attack on Titan? Except it had Clock Encore?
And it wasn't 7k?
I think it was like a 7-5, right? It just got
Yes,
less.
7.5.
it was.
Remember when they printed this in Angel Beats?
No. Who remembers Angel Feats?
This is just
This is bad.
bad. No, this is vanilla.
Yeah, the next
This
card is
is
vanilla.
The best one.
Which is also
Fennec.
bad.
Rawr! This is better than the. Wait. No, this is.
No, it's the same. It's actually
Worse.
worse.
It's-
It's completely worse.
Alright. Okay. Serval did well. 212k. When you use the backup, this is a 2500 backup.
It's a 35, isn't it?
35.
Is it Well,
Yeah,
The,
2500
the first
backup,
condition
when you
is
use the back-
free.
when you use the backup, if you have a friend's character, choose one of your characters in battle, and that character gets 1k. So yeah, it's a 3/5 backup, effectively.
Unless your whole field is Lucky Beasts.
That's possible. Like,
Yes, there's a Lucky Beast army
so
card.
Elprez, do you know there's this amazing deck you can make 80 pluses?
42 self-tap draw
There's
brainstorm.
the self-tap brainstorm, the draw brainstorm in that deck. You can run as many of it as you want.
That sounds terrible.
It sounds amazing. But in that deck, unfortunately, this card would only be a 2500 backup. Unfortunately. So you don't run this card in that deck.
They don't make meme army decks like they used to.
Yeah. Hey, there's a
This,
lot of people who would love to have 42 brainstorms in their deck.
42 brainstorm.
this card is playable.
Are you still with
Yes. Yeah.
Woo.
Next, Fennec following. Alliteration. 2/1/6K. All your other friends, it's a global 1K to friends characters, and this ability activates up to once per turn. When you play an event, choose one of your characters, and that character gains plus X power for the turn, X being 500 times the number of your other friends' characters.
Hey man,
So
you can turn your
2K
tap. You can turn your tap counter into a 2K
Into a
counter
s-
too. You can turn your tap counter into like poor man's darkness counter, or better
can,
man's
like-
darkness counter.
This is more
This
power
is so
than
value.
darkness.
This was
You
actually a
save-
better darkness counter?
It is
Oh,
better.
you're right. Never mind.
You can save the card that you counter, like the lane that you countered for, and then save another card by
Oh
tapping.
man, sick
Yeah.
2-for-1.
Exactly. This card's OP.
I would rather be playing that 2-1 frontal 2K assist. In all honesty, though, like still,
Yes.
because in the worst case scenario, these give roughly the same power. um,
Yeah.
so there you go. This card is probably bad by extension. You should probably just be playing that support instead.
All right. Kaban-chan. Everything up until now. 2/1/6/5. Recollection. If there are two or more characters in your memory that are either friends or mecha, this gains 3K power and 1 soul.
Oh, there are
Hey,
mecha
check it
cards
out,
that
this
send themselves to
confirmed
memory.
set too.
There are no mecha cards that go to
no.
memory.
Are you
It's just
kidding me?
flavor. It's
It-
just
it-
flavor.
It checks for.
Oh my
mecha,
god,
but
who made
you
this
It's
set?
for
You can't
flavor.
send mecha to memory.
Who made
Set 2
this?
confirmed, boys.
Wait, that's not true. Well, you can't.
You can't. Your opponent can.
Oh.
You can.
Oh.
You
Yo, if you're
can't.
playing against Yellow Osomatsu and they want
We
to
have approached the meme horizon.
Like, remember, there are several sets with mandatory memory kicks.
the Aqua.
Yeah,
but,
man,
like,
you crash your brainstorms into.
Yeah,
the
but this means you
offload.
have to play mecha characters, so you're like fucking up somewhere.
the Chie from Persona also.
She doesn't
mandatory.
have a hat. She has hat trait. This is distressing.
Yeah,
Well, then we can't
and the
play this card
lucky
anyways.
Beast stock bomb has a hat. and
Anyways,
doesn't
this card
It
is
doesn't have hat trait.
this
Oh.
card
We
is
need to
probably
bring that
bad.
back.
In all honesty, though.
Yeah.
I play it as a 1-of in my yellow blue.
That seems like you're.
I mean, it's a
trying to do
one
something
soul. It's a
meme
one stock
worthy.
2 soul beater.
I
That's
like one.
kinda
I
big.
like one.
I think this is fine. It's like okay.
I'm willing
it's
to give it
playable
niche,
minus.
and that's like it.
Niche, sure. I think I'll give it. Yeah, it's a niche card. Yeah. All right. It's another Tsuchinoko card. Tsuchinoko,
Better not get
unidentified
caught by
mysterious animal, UMA. 2175. This is hexproof, can't be chosen as a target opponent's effects. And when this is placed from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your library. In this case, plus X soul for the turn. X is a leveled card revealed
Alright,
this way.
so we gotta go back to the thing. Reveal level 3. This goes to 4 soul.
Oh,
Empty
God.
slot
Oh.
5, 9, 11. Crit trigger 13 soul.
And this is hexproof.
Nice!
I actually played this in my build.
Yeah, so
Wait. If it's hexproof, your opponent can't use like the rain doll counter to give it plus 16 soul.
You're right. Well, you
That's
play
the
this right
conflicting
against decks
argument.
that like try to tap your middle if you're trying to restand.
yeah, this
Yeah.
bypasses. This is a neat way to bypass that weakness.
So this
Oh, they
card
can
is
still.
good in Title Cup.
Oh yeah, baby.
Is this a meme I don't understand?
Niche.
Niche. It serves a niche role in the deck, but
Title Cup.
The soul
meta.
part is nice. I think it's that it does it before you start attacking is also very nice.
It's mandatory though, and that can mess with your math sometimes.
That's true, but I mean, like you're playing, you're under control of whether like how you're attacking with this card. So
If you play the other Tsuchinoko first, you know what the top card of your deck is.
No, you don't.
No,
That's
it's
just
Oh
opponent.
yeah, you're right. It's
your opponent's deck.
still
dude.
retarded. Still
so
retarded.
close.
Serval good ears. This is a 2/2/6/5. Gets 1k for each of your other friends' characters and has hand on court.
This very clearly has Kaban on it as well.
No hat trait. This is
No Kaban name either.
Yeah.
What do you mean? See Serval.
Bad.
Bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Camera.
Yes. Jopari buttons. This is looking up the top 4 cards of your library and search for up to one's friend's character, reveal it, put it in your hand, then dump the rest. Yes. This
Why
is
didn't
camera
this
button.
get a bond?
You have a bond. It's a 3/2.
Oh my god, you're right.
Oh,
And the bond from deck.
Dude, we have never gotten early play Azusa before.
oh my god.
Is that what that card really is?
Oh shit!
That's-
Where did you come from?
You said you wouldn't talk. All right. She has camera. I actually think being able to search for this card with the early play is pretty neat. But
I'm also thinking
you know,
that if you're playing 2 of the other event and you're only playing 2 of that event anyways, you probably don't want to play any more events
nah.
But like if you're
I
playing,
mean,
you play.
because you're probably playing the 0/0 whenever you play a climax. You can pay one to, Azusa anyways, right?
Not necessarily.
So I don't know if I would play this over that, for instance.
I mean, they just do different things. I think it's pretty neat that you can. This being searchable changes the utility of the card. I think, right? I'm not saying it's something you should run. It's just the early play affects how I see this card a little bit.
But if you're playing Kaban, you probably just refreshed. So like, do you really want to be going deep in your
Sure.
deck?
I mean, this is a pocket. Then this would just be like a pocket thing, right?
Hmm. So how many of this would you even play? Like, I don't think you played 4.
1 or something.
But like if you're playing
That's
1, then
weird.
what's the point?
That's a weird amount.
You play 2 probably.
1 or 2. It's like.
I still don't feel like I'm like confident enough in this card to say that I'd even want 2 in the deck.
I don't
Yeah.
think I'd want any of this card in my deck.
Exactly.
But like,
This is like another, like, why would you play this if you have Maguro?
Maguro doesn't go in every deck, so
why would you play this anyway though? Like, your 2 soul combo already checks top 4.
playing Shinpaze.
Because what? Because
Yeah,
how many
right.
cards do you know what that? Think about
Kappa.
it. You're leveling them up twice, right? And then you like have one of this in your hand.
We've crossed the meme horizon like a second time.
You can
Alright.
like, refresh your deck twice in one turn.
If this card had an actual bond, this would be so much better.
Yeah, then you could build your own Azusa like Persona, but you don't.
Yeah.
So you don't get to build your own Azusa, and you just have to deal with it. I don't
Well,
like
you can
this.
pay 2, ditch 1 bond to it. That's pretty good.
Oh
I
man,
think-
you negged 1 to Azusa.
You didn't neg 1, right?
What you did, because you played the Azusa, or you played the 3/2 Kaban. It searches, then you discard a card to add the event to your hand. You're still down a card in hand.
Oh, okay, I see
Isn't
what you're
that the
saying.
exact same map?
Well,
as
that's just a
Azusa?
normal Azusa then.
Yeah, it's just normal Azusa.
You're saying that normal Azusa has a neg 1 in hand.
I am,
Okay.
What?
but like
That's-
you paid 2 stock for this one.
It's not how. This is just
You
like.
did- you
I
did
think this is
say
like playable
Yeah, but
minus.
Azusa dies every time.
Who cares?
Like,
It attacks.
This
If Kaban lives a turn, then it's a plus. Think about it.
no deck,
It's like investing.
no deck.
You're
that
investing in level
can't
2.
Bond this plays it, except for like what Kill a Kill. Can Kill a Kill bond it? Probably
No.
not.
Kill
Yeah.
can't bond it.
And that's probably the only deck that plays this that can't bond it.
Monogatari, guys.
Kill doesn't even play this, I don't think. But if you're playing Shimikaze Choice, I think it's a nice way to get some extra mill out of your cards. I think the other milling options just like not that great. This is one of the few sources of costless mill that's like somewhat toolboxable.
I mean,
that doesn't just suck.
Toolboxing at level 2 is like completely different than toolboxing at level 0 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when you hit level 2, you no longer want like the big toolbox that can do everything. You want like the precision nuke.
Yeah.
Right, it does one thing, but boy does it blow shit up. Which is what we're about to get to, by the way. But this card is like playable minus in context of deck.
Yeah. All right. We are here.
That's some good text.
It's here.
Paper
airplane. 3/3 yellow events.
Is that supposed to be the airplane in the hand?
Yeah.
Choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it.
Multiples of them in the hand.
No condition. No, it's like multiple.
Are you talking about the art? She has like a bunch of them.
Yeah,
oh,
she has a
sure.
bunch
I
of-
see
it's
them
like a bunch
underneath
of
now.
paper
Yeah,
airplanes.
yeah.
She's so excited to make paper airplanes.
Oh man.
Yeah, no restriction tap counter.
Hey, that's a good card.
That's bondable by
It is
two cards.
bondable?
Is grabbable by two characters. Bond.
Three
straight up
characters
stock.
if you count the top check ad.
Oh god. All right. Yeah, it's tap counter.
Not much to say. I mean, it's functionally anti-damage, except better.
No, this is definitely no. This is worse than anti-damage, I think, by far. And the reason being is that this is just so much easier to play around.
Yeah.
And this, and apart from, we say this has no restrictions, but there are some conditions for this card being fairly usable. You need to win field the turn before you play this card.
I mean, you need to win field to anti-damage as well.
Sure,
Yeah,
but losing one lane is a lot. It doesn't affect the usability of anti-damage as much as it does this card.
Anti-damage only has to win one lane. This has to win two.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully more than that, but
Well,
not to
you have
mention.
to win two out of it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, you do have.
It's
to
not
win
strictly.
too. It's not strictly better, but
it's so you can play around this card in a lot of ways. A lot of people aren't surprised by this card anymore. I think there's been a lot of decks. I think in the past,
You can also
there's a lot of
only
decks that
play
have this
one of
kind
those.
of like counter-based anti-damage effect. I think people are not going to be blindsided by this effect, especially because you're gonna bond this card and they're gonna ask what it does, and they're like, oh, this
But
card.
you bonded on like turn 2 and they forget about it.
what
And
you
you
just,
keep it in your hand the
you,
entire.
you just can't live the two-level dream where you've gone through like 14 cards and you've drawn like 2 of your anti-damages and you realize your combo doesn't cost you any stock level 3, so you're just like, yes, I'm casting all of these.
The nice thing is that if you Serval restand, you almost always will end with enough stock to at least play one of these. But
It's nice
if
that
you
this
if
doesn't
you
have...
only end with enough stock to play one of these, sometimes you don't have the stock to play more cards that are big enough to win on offense.
Yeah.
And then you just can't tap counter more, and your opponent just kills you.
I still think.
The
I think
card
this
is
is a.
super good.
I think this is a good card.
The card's really good.
But obvious caveats. This is not a card that is without counterplay
Yeah.
by any stretch of the imagination.
And I think-
but
I think
it is an
that-
effect that warrants such counterplay, and as such,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the strengths of Rescue Operation, is that it gets rid of a lot of the downsides.
It's
to the
true.
card.
I mean, Rescue Operation is kind of like that card procs every
That
opponent's attack
card-
phase. Like you can play and be like, you just stare at your opponent, you're like, hi.
Rescue Operation turns this into anti-damage, basically,
Yes. Yeah.
which
But,
is really good.
but what if you play the rescue operation and you play against Kyosuke ALB?
And you nag, like, oh well.
Oh well. If they still have the anti-salvage
Hey, man,
on board at level 3, which almost never happens.
Hey man. At least you're not playing with magic rules where you don't need a legal target to do things in the first place.
Yeah, this is a good card.
Yeah, this card is good.
Mhm.
And that is it for yellow. I believe that's the last card in yellow besides
Yeah.
climaxes, which we don't care about. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off here. Be back with
Green.
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 Yeah. So